Want to create stunning gold fondant crowns for your cakes? Whether you have a mold or not, we've got you covered. From simple DIY designs to professional cake toppers, learn step-by-step techniques to craft elegant decorations. Plus, discover a quick-drying sugar paste recipe to speed up your process.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this elaborate fondant crown with a cake mold, like with a silicone mold. And for this crown, you can use any large silicone mold that you have, any large silicone mold that you pass to the end. Yeah, you can use that, and I'm going to show you how today. You don't have to use this a particular mold if you don't have this, because I made this cake and this other cake, but today I'm going to be this crown and this other crown, sorry. But today I'm going to be showing you how to make the one with a mold. So if you want to make the second crown, that crown, I made it without a mold, like I made it without any special tool. So if you want to see how to make that, I'm going to leave the card right up here above here for you to click on. It says click on me, so remember to click on that to check out how I made that. Okay, so today we're going to be using this mold, and then we're going to be putting some of our fondant, our gum paste into it. This is gum paste that I made by myself, and I made it from fondant scraps. So if you have fondant scraps that you use, maybe you decorate cakes a lot and you have tiny pieces of fondant remaining that you don't really use and stuff, and you just have so many of them, I have a video on how to repurpose that to make fondant, to make like gum paste, yeah, in a video, and I already made that video for you guys. So click on the card right up above here. It says click on me. Yeah, click on that. So today we're going to be using this gum paste that I already made. So let's get started. So what you want to do is to take your silicone mold and then take your gum paste and then roll it into your silicone mold, and then to form the shape of a silicone mold, if that makes sense. And you want about 2 or 2.5 of this, and the reason is because you want it to be wide enough to be able to go round, so that the crown will be to be able to be round and like be big enough to fit a 6-inch, 7-inch, 8-inch or 10-inch cake on top of it, if that makes sense to you guys. Okay, so if you guys notice, I don't really put any cornstarch or like anything for it not to stick in my silicone mold or on my fondant, and that's because this sugar paste is very nice. It's wonderful. It is very not sticky at all, and it works well and firms up really fast. This crown firmed up in less than, like, usually I use this gum paste when maybe I forget to make the accessories for my cake in advance, so I like to use this gum paste because it firms up really fast. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to leave a link right up here for you guys on how to make it. It says click on me. Yeah, click on that. Okay, so we already made 2 different strips from this silicone mold, and I'm going to glue it together right now with my edible glue. And I make my edible glue from either CMC or from wafer paper remnants, wafer paper scraps that I have from other cakes. So if you want to see how I make that, I'm going to leave the link right up here for you. It's a really nice glue that doesn't, like, it is not too sticky and it's not too watery, so it is wonderful for gluing gum paste and for gluing wafer paper. Okay, so moving on, we're going to take that and then our fondant, and then we're going to try to wrap it around a container. You just want to make sure the base of the container is round, because if the base is round, that way it will form like a round base for your crown, because you know, like, the crown is round basically. So that's what you want. So, but what I kind of realized at this point is that the fondant strip is not long enough, so I was kind of struggling to make it fit. Out of laziness, I was just supposed to make 1 more strip, but you know, I tried to do things like the easy way. Anyways, so I realized like there was no way around it. I had to make another strip of silicone, you know, fondants and stuff. So I decided to make 1 more strip so I can add it to that. So when I make that, if you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, like, what are you waiting for? Please click on the link below and subscribe. Click on the subscribe button and subscribe, and give me a thumbs up on this video. When you give me a thumbs up on a video, you're telling YouTube that you like the video, so they get to show it to more people, because I have amazing tutorials on this channel for you guys. Like, I have more than 200 different tutorials on this channel, especially for beginners and intermediates, and even if you're a professional, I have awesome tips and tricks for you on this channel as well. So make sure to subscribe and to turn on the bell notification so you can get notified every time I post something new. Okay guys, so moving on, we're going to take the third one. So I tried to make half a strip, yeah, and then we are going to glue it to the other 2 strips that we glued together initially. So we're going to glue that, and this was kind of tricky because I made half a strip, so it was kind of tricky knowing where to fit it. Yeah, but I kind of found, and I like made it work. So like I don't know, just kept it somewhere and glued it with my edible glue. So we're going to take that strip again, and then we're going to wrap it around the same container. The container you pick, you want it to be wide enough, yeah, to fit like maybe around, this container was about 10 centimeters in diameter, so you want to pick something that's around maybe 10, 12, 14, 8, around that centimeters in diameter, so that like your crown can be wide enough so it can fit on top of, like, on a medium size on a small cake. Okay, so moving on, you want to take the strip and then you want to wrap it around your plastic container. Okay, so but another tip I found was useful was to take tiny strips of fondant to be able to use it to glue those silicone molds, the fondant molds you made together. That way it makes it easy and it doesn't start falling apart or coming apart while you're trying to put it on your plastic. So another thing I found was easy was to bend your plastic and let it be lying on its side. That way it's a lot easier, and then it will dry out in that shape, and it's like a lot easier. Basically it won't be falling apart or making your life a little difficult. So make sure when you put this together, like, your plastic is lying on its side. I didn't really figure out this trick out fast, but once I did, it kind of just worked. Make sure it is lying on its side, and then the end of your crown is facing the table. That way the table is holding it in place. Yeah, so that way your crown is going to stay in place. So you want to make sure you also leave it in this shape, like in place like this. Like, you want to make sure that, yeah, you want to make sure you glue the ends with some edible glue, and then you make sure that part is facing the floor, like not the floor, like the table stuff. And then you want to leave your bucket or your container lying on its side while it dries. It dries pretty fast, like I told you guys. This gum paste recipe dries really fast, so within like 30 minutes, 1 or 2 hours, it's going to be really firm and it's going to look like you made it the day before. So you want to leave it like that for a few hours and let it dry. Okay, so once it is dry, I'm going to show you guys how to put some extra details on it so it can be really pretty. So when it is dry, you can take out your container, and then it gives you this really amazing crown that can stand on its own. Yeah. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is take some chocolate and melt it. You don't want to add cream or water or anything to it, just normal chocolate, yeah, and melt it, because chocolate firms up really fast. And then you want to put it at the tip. Decide which part of your crown you want to put the chocolate balls, because I have some chocolate balls that I already painted gold, and I'm going to stick it on top at like strategic places on top of the crown. Yes, so that's what we're going to do, and we're going to be sticking it on with chocolate. So the thing with sticking with chocolate is that, like, it won't dry immediately, so you want to make sure your hand is stable while you hold it on so it can dry out. But once it dries out really firm, but it takes around maybe if you don't have the free spray, it takes around maybe 10 to 12 seconds to dry out. So when you're placing it, you want to make sure your hand is stable, that can hold it in place for maybe around 4 to 5 seconds, so that it can stay in place, and then after a few seconds it will dry out and be really firm. Okay, the reason why you can't use glue for this is that glue, it easily comes off when you're trying to, because now you're not gluing fondant to fondant or gum paste to gum paste, you're gluing chocolate to gum paste, so like it's a little bit harder. So that's why you want to use chocolate. Okay, so once you are done with that, the next thing you want to do is paint. So I took some of my gold dust. So you want to use good quality edible gold dust, and you want to mix some vodka with it, and then you want to start to paint, and you want to paint every nook and cranny of the crown. Okay, so if you would like to buy my gold dust, yeah, it is very nice and very pigmented. I'm going to leave the link for you in the description box below. On the other side, like, I have some of my favorite cake tools. I'm going to leave the link in the description box below, because, like, if you're a cake decorator and you can decorate cakes often, you know, like, tools are very important when you have the right tools. So I have some of my favorite tools. If you like to buy them, or if you like to check them out, if you like to see if it's something that might be useful to you, check them out in the description box below and buy them if you'd like. Okay, so now I'm painting my crown, and once I was done painting, it came out beautifully. It came out looking so royal and perfect. and it dries out so fast. So if you try out this crown with any mold you have at all, make sure to tag me on Instagram. I'm going to put my link in the description box below as well. I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this fondant crown without any serious tool. You don't need a mold, you don't need a cutter, you don't need basically freehand, or yeah, you can use a round cutter, or you can use any round, you know, thing you have, maybe the round cover of something or a round thing basically. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So let's get started. It's very simple, very elegant, and very pretty. Okay, so let's get started. This crown will take you maximum 20 minutes to make. 20 minutes is a lot. 15 minutes, make that 15 minutes. Okay, so we're starting with this my gum paste that I already made, and I made this gum paste out of like remnant fondant that I had just lying around. So if you want to see how I repurpose my remnant fondant, I'm going to put the card right up here. It says click on me. Yeah, click on that. Okay, so I made that remnant fondant into gum paste, and you can see how I make this gum paste. This gum paste firms up in less than 2 hours, and I like to use it usually when I forget to make the accessories on my cakes the day before and I need to make it that morning so it can firm up. I like to use this gum paste recipe because it firms up so fast and so nicely. So you should check that out. I'm going to put the link right up here. It says click on me. Yeah, make sure to click on that as well. Okay, so what you want to do is roll out a piece of gum paste, like roll it out flat. Don't make it too flat because you need it to have enough body to be able to hold its own. Yeah, okay, so roll it out and then cut out the jagged edges so you can have like really nice smooth edges, yeah, on both sides. So once you are done, the next thing you want to do is to take a round cutter. You can use a round cutter, or you can use the cover of a tin, or you can even use a tin. Just to take something that has like a round edge and is sharp enough. That's what we're going to be using to form the shape of our crown today. Okay guys, so once you roll out a log like this, like basically like a strip of gum paste like this, so you want to take your round cutter, and then I'm going to show you how to do it. So you want to take a round cutter that is not too big and not too small. So mark the middle of your strip basically, and then in that middle try to cut out semicircles on both sides of that middle. You're not cutting out that middle, if you get what I mean. You're cutting out semicircles on both sides. So now that you've cut out one, you want to go on the other side and cut out another semicircle. So this is going to form the middle of your crown. So you're going to use this middle to trace the remaining sides of your crown so you can have a perfect crown. So once you're done with this middle, then you want to go ahead with the other sides of the crown and cut out semicircles as well. But when you're doing this, you want to make sure you're tapering downward. So like the middle is taller than the sides. I don't know if that makes sense. Look at what I'm doing. I'm tapering downward from the middle, so the middle is taller than the sides of the crown. So the further I go to the sides, the smaller it gets, if that makes sense. I don't know if you understand my English, but you get. Look at what I'm doing. Like it is tapering to the end. Yeah, that way the middle is a lot taller than the sides. You have a crown that is standing tall in the middle and tapers down backwards to the back. That's what we're trying to make today. So once you're done, you want to take your remnant gum paste and take it and wrap it in a cling film so you can use it another day. Yeah, this gum paste firms up really fast. So one of the things you have to make sure you do is once you remove some parts of it, you want to cover it up immediately with cling film so you don't waste it. Okay, so you want to take a plastic that is big enough or a container, and you want to wrap your gum paste around it so you can form that shape, that round shape, because you know, like the crown should form like a round shape in the middle. So you want to take your edible glue and then glue the ends together. That's what you want to do. And if you want to see the recipe for my edible glue, I'm going to put the card right up here. It says click on me. It is made out of CMC, or you can make it out of remnant wafer paper as well, and it is wonderful for gluing sugar paste, for gluing fondant, for gluing wafer paper or sugar paper. It is not too sticky and it is not too runny. It is a wonderful consistency for gluing. So once you have this, you're going to take it and leave it for 30 minutes, and it's going to firm up like this. You're going to leave it for 30 minutes before removing the bucket or your container, of course, so it can firm up firmly and nicely. So after like 30 minutes, 1 hour, then you're going to remove your container and it can stand on its own. You can even lift it and it will be okay. Can you see? Yeah, so that's what you want to do. It is very nice and very firm and just a perfect, wonderful crown. Okay, so once you are done with that and it is firm, you want to take some chocolate balls and we're going to stick some chocolate balls on top with chocolate. So now our crown is firm, so we're going to take some chocolate balls and put it in a separate plate beside it. And then take some chocolate, whether you're using dark chocolate or white chocolate, it doesn't really matter, because we're going to be painting this crown gold, so it's going to be covering any other color difference there is around or on top of it. So you want to take your chocolate, some chocolate, and put it in the microwave. And then once it melts, you want to take it out, yes, and then you want to use your brush to be able to apply it, so you can use it to glue on top of your crown. So that's what we're going to be doing next. So let's get started. So we're going to take our brush, yes, I'm sorry about this movement, like this thing wasn't well positioned, so I had to be moving it. Sorry guys. And I didn't really notice on time until I was done filming, and I couldn't like maybe film again or not upload the video. Like that'd be a waste, because it's a great video and to help someone. Okay, so guys, what you want to do is take your brush and then touch the chocolate and use it to touch the top of the crown, and then you're going to stick your chocolate balls on top of it. So this might be a little bit difficult to do because chocolate takes around maybe 15 seconds to firm up, but once it firms up, it's already firm. But if you have one of those like freeze sprays, edible freeze sprays, they use it, firm up instantly. But it's kind of expensive, so I didn't buy it. So you know, so you just have to take your time so you can stick the chocolate balls on top of it, because it gives it some dimension and makes it look more like a crown, unlike if you just paint it like this. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next couple of minutes. In the meantime, guys, if you're not subscribed to this channel, guys, come on, I have more than 200 different tutorials for you on this channel, and I post every day, like every day. It's a lot of work, but I post every day for you guys. So I have amazing tutorials here for you guys to watch and for you to learn from. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and turn on post notification, so that when I post something new, you get to see it, you get to like get notified and go watch it, because it might be very useful to you, especially if you're just starting out, or maybe you're an intermediate cake decorator. Even if you're a professional, I have amazing tips for you on this channel. So aside that, please make sure to give me a thumbs up on this video. Like, give me a thumbs up right now. The reason is because when you give me a thumbs up, like, YouTube shows it to more people, so like the video gets to go even farther. So please make sure to give me a thumbs up on this video. I'd really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. So moving on, as you can see, I'm kind of struggling to as I'm sticking one, I'm using my finger to touch the other one to fall off. So this can be a little tricky if you don't have one of those freeze sprays. So you want to take your time and like stick it on, but once it sticks on, it's going to stay in that position. I'm not kidding, because chocolate firms up really hard. So once it sticks on, it's going to stay in that position, so you don't have to be afraid to fall off. So the next thing you want to do is paint. So I'm going to take my edible gold dust, and I already mixed it with some vodka and then some of my brush, and then I'm going to start to paint it. So you want to go around and paint it uniformly. And sometimes like the paint is, so if you buy a good paint like this one, you can paint it in one, like you don't have to paint it twice and wait for it to dry and anything, and it to be nice. So if you want to see like how to buy this edible gold paint that I use, I'm going to leave the link for you guys in the description box below. It is very nice and very pigmented, like it is amazing. And I also left a link for you to buy some of my favorite cake tools that make my life easy as a self-taught cake decorator, in case you'd like to check them out and buy some of them, in case they might be useful to you. So this is my gold crown after I finished painting it. See how nice and seamless and wonderful it is, like so nice, and it will like make any cake look pretty. And so I hope you like it. Like I kind of did a poll on Instagram about this crown, because the day I made this video for you guys, I made 2 different crowns. So make sure to check out this other crown that I made with a mold. Yes, you can use any mold that you have at home, any long mold that you have at home to make it. I showed you guys how to make that. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make gold fondant crowns 2 different ways. Yeah, I'm going to show you a very simple way that you don't need any tool for, and then a more elaborate way that you can use a mold for. You can use any large mold that you have whatsoever. Okay, so let's get started. Yeah, today I'm going to be using some sugar paste, some gum paste that I already made. Sorry, I made this gum paste myself out of remnant fondant. So if you're looking for how to repurpose your, like when you have different cake works, like maybe you have remnant fondant from different cakes, blue, green, yellow, purple, black, you have all sorts of fondants, and they're very tiny, you can't really add them to something else, and you don't know how to repurpose them. I have a video on how to repurpose remnant fondant for you, and I'm going to put the link right up here. So I repurposed this remnant fondant and made it into sugar paste, so that's what I'm using right now. So if you want to see how to do that, just make sure you click on that link I just talked about. Okay, so this fondant right now, it's already sugar paste because I made it into sugar paste. So if you want to know how to turn your fondant to sugar paste, I'm going to put another link right up here for you guys to see. Okay guys, I have more than 200 videos for you on this channel, like awesome. Yeah, anyway, so what you want to do is create a strip. Yeah, and you want to make sure the strip is not too thin, because you need it to be thick enough to be able to hold itself, because we're not going to be using a mold or anything, we're just going to be using round cutters, and the round cutter we're going to be using just one size. If you don't have a round cutter, you can use the cover of something. It is very easy. You basically don't need any tool for it. Actually, if you don't have a round cutter, that's not a problem. Use a cover that you have in your house, maybe for a tin or something, and it will work just fine. So what you want to do is cut out semicircles, and you want to start from the middle, and you want to make sure the two semicircles you cut from the middle kind of joins in the middle. That way it forms those things. And as you go to the sides, make sure you're moving downward, if you understand what I mean. Like, make sure the front is kind of taller than the sides. That way when you make your crown, like the front of the crown will be a little bit elevated compared to the sides of the crown, if that makes sense. If you notice, it kind of tapers from the middle to the sides. Yeah, that's what you want to do. You want it to taper from the middle to the side. So now that we finished cutting out semicircles on our to-be crown, I'm going to show you how to make it form, and to make it form a perfect shape. So you want that container, it equals too small. So you want to take a container that is not too small, that your crown can go around effortlessly. That's what you want to do. This container is kind of too little. Yes, it will be too small. So I take a bigger one. Just take a plastic or a mini bucket you have in your house or something, and then make it go around. And then take a brush and then apply some edible glue and glue it. You don't want to use water, because gum paste is a little too thick. Unlike fondant where you can use water, it's a little too thick and might not hold. So you want to cut out the little excess you have, or you can just glue it together with your edible glue. And if you want to see how I make my edible glue, I make my edible glue out of remnant. I make it out of CMC powder or out of remnant wafer paper, like those wafer paper scraps that I have from other works. Yes, I repurpose them into edible glue. The glue is not too watery, it is not too thick. It is good for gluing wafer paper, and also good for gluing fondant. So look at this right now, and it firms up really fast. Like, this firmed up in less than 30 minutes. So you want to just leave it like this for about 30 minutes and it will firm up. Before, I used to make these things in advance, but out of laziness and workload these days, I no longer make it in advance. So if you want to see how to make sugar paste from your remnant fondant that will firm up almost immediately, yes, click on the link right up here and it's going to take you there, so you can see how to make it. In case you have a fondant figure you forgot to make and you need it to firm up really fast, yeah, you're going to see how to make that by yourself without buying. Okay, so I'm taking some chocolate balls and I'm gluing it on top of those spikes that we made with our round cutters. Yeah, those spikes, I'm gluing some chocolate balls on top of it. So, and I'm using chocolate to glue it. You can also use chocolate, that's because chocolate firms up really fast, or you can use edible glue, but edible glue might be a little bit tricky and your hand has to be really stable. But if you're using chocolate, it firms up really fast, so that makes your life a little easier. Okay, so once we are done with this, we are going to paint this crown. Okay, so usually when I make things for my cakes and for my customers stuff, I know how to repurpose a lot of stuff, and I have so many of those kind of videos on this channel for you if you want to watch. So if you are a new cake decorator, you know someone who's a new cake decorator, make sure you just send my channel to them, because I have a lot of easy, simple techniques they can learn from, and I will take their cake decorating game from 0 to 100. Okay, so that's it. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, please make sure to click on the link on the subscribe button and subscribe, and also make sure to give me a thumbs up on this video. Please guys, please give me a thumbs up on this video. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is like the easy crown. We're still going to be doing a little more complicated crown in this video. Okay, so once you've glued on all of your chocolate balls, then we are going to paint. So the chocolate balls might be a little bit tricky, so just leave it for a few seconds because chocolate kind of firms up after, like, you know, 15 seconds. So if you don't touch it in 15 seconds, it will be firm. So just make sure you put it on top and just leave it like that for about 15 seconds, and then it will firm up. Then we can move on to painting. Okay, my edible gold dust that I use is very pigmented and it is amazing, and I'm going to leave the link for you guys in the description box below. And at the same time, I have the link to my favorite cake tools, because I have some favorite cake tools that have made my life easier as a self-taught cake decorator. Yeah, there's some cake tools I buy and I realize that it's like a waste of time, because you know almost instantly that it wasn't designed by a cake decorator, because there's no way you make this blunder. You know what you need as a cake decorator to make your cake finer. So my favorite cake tools are in the description box below if you'd like to buy them, especially if you're just starting out. I have a list. Just check them out and see if it's really useful to you and stuff. So as soon as I'm done painting this crown gold, see how royally, is there a word like royally it looks? You won't believe it's so simple, and it takes me around maybe 10 to 15 minutes to make. And I don't make it in advance, actually. I make it on the same day I'm going to put it on my cake, because I have an amazing recipe for gum paste. Okay guys, that aside, let's move on to the second one. Okay, so this second one, we're going to be using a mold. You don't have to use this mold. I think I make like about 4 or 5 different kinds of crowns, and I use different molds. You just have to make sure it's a big mold, and that the mold has like tapers to the sides. You know how I made the first fondant where like it tapers to the side? Make sure if you have a mold that tapers to the side, you can use that mold. It doesn't have to be this mold. Even if it doesn't taper to the side, you can make it one of those crowns that like it is the same height all through. There are different kinds of crowns. So once you're just done, just make sure you paint it and put some accessories on it, maybe some gold balls and stuff, and it is going to come alive. And before you know, people will be asking you how you made your crown. Okay, so this crown today, we're going to be using a fondant mold. So you can try to use any fondant mold you have in your, you know, cake decorating box and stuff. Okay, so for this, we're going to be doing about 2 of that. Yeah, because you need it to be long enough to, like, this is just one of the mold. Yeah, I think one is too small because it won't go around, and I want a really big crown that can fit on a 6-inch cake, 6, 7, 8, 9-inch cake, like that will fit and look like it belongs there. Not too small, not too big, if you get what I mean. Okay, so we're going to be making another of our, you know, gum paste from this mold and stuff. Okay, so if you're not as experienced as me, you should not use a sharp razor to cut off your gum paste from your mold, because that way you can cut out your mold. Like, you can injure your mold kind of and like make it bad. So if you're not used to doing it like that, you want to put your fondant into your mold in beads so you don't spoil your mold. You understand? But I'm kind of used to doing this, and like my hands are stable and stuff, so I don't really cut into my mold and stuff. I make some mistakes sometimes and cut into it, but not like too damaging and stuff. Okay, so now we're going to join the two together, and then we are going to try to make a crown from this. Can you see, like, the middle will be taller and the sides tapers to the sides, if that makes sense? Okay, so what you want to do is take some edible glue and then glue it together, and then put it around your bucket just like you did for the first crown. But this might be a little bit tricky because it is not in one piece, if that makes sense. The first one we did was in one piece because we made it from one piece of fondant. This one, we're making it from 2 different pieces of fondant that we like inserted into a mold to form this shape. So it might be a little bit tricky, but I'm going to show you how to get through it. Okay, so the next thing you want to do after gluing it together is to take it and apply it on your bucket. The first mistake I made was trying to apply it while the bucket is standing so you guys can see, but like I realized you guys couldn't see it. So what you want to do is turn your bucket to be lying on its side. That way it's a lot easier for you to do. I don't know if that makes sense, but at this point I kind of realized that my fondant was too short and I needed it to join in the middle and at the back. So I decided to like make another strip of fondant from my mold. Okay, so guys, I decided to like make one more strip, like half of a strip basically, because my fondant was too short and I needed it to be a little bit longer so it could join at the back. Okay guys, so I'm going to put some more fondant in my mold and then make one more strip so I can join it to the one we already have. I think half is enough because that way it will just join. I don't need that much, just a little. So you want to make sure like whatever bucket you're using or whatever container you're using to like form the round circle of your crown, you want to make sure your crown joins at the back. So if it doesn't, you have to like add a little more, like from your mold, of course, add a little more to the back and stuff. And if it overlaps, that's no problem. All you have to do is glue the top to the bottom or the bottom to the top basically, and then you'll be able to make a crown that like is long enough to like go around and form basically. Okay, so I'm applying my glue again, and then we are going to go back. And then, okay, this was being tricky. I didn't know I was going to apply it. So we're going to go back and then try to make that stay on the bucket and stuff so it can like form that shape. It forms that shape really fast. In like 30 minutes, it will be good to stand on its own. So you don't have to make this in advance or anything. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, guys, what are you waiting for? I have more than 200 videos on this channel for you guys to watch, especially if you're a beginner or an intermediate. Even if you're a professional, I have so many tips and tricks for you that can be useful to you in your daily cake decorating, you know, endeavors and stuff. So make sure to subscribe to this channel and give me a thumbs up on this video. I'd really like you to give me a thumbs up on this video. Okay, so now that we have glued it, we're going to take our bucket once again. And then, okay, now I'm trying to make those strips stay together so like they won't fall apart and stuff. There are no like one size fits all for this things. I just do what I think will work or what will make something look better. Like that's why I can't make exact designs and stuff, because I improvise a lot when it comes to cake decorating and how to do something. I can do one thing like 4 or 5 different ways, 5 different times, just because I think I found a better way that will work. So make sure to take your bucket and make it go round, and then when you want to dry it, don't dry it standing up, dry it lying on its side. So you need to leave that bucket like that for at least 30 minutes, yeah, and then we are going to come back to it. So when we come back to it, it will have already formed that round shape and it will be able to hold itself on its own, so you can put it on a cake without it like falling apart or becoming misshapen and stuff. Okay, so now that our fondant cake, see what I'm saying? Yeah. So now you can stand on its own and it is firm enough because I have a wonderful gum paste recipe. And if you want to see that, I added the link in the beginning for you guys. Okay, so once you are done, we're going to be putting some chocolate balls on top of it, because that way it just makes the crown come alive a little bit more. Yeah, so we're going to put in some chocolate balls on top of it so it can be, you know, extra pretty and extra details and stuff. And I'm using white chocolate again, just like the first one, to apply some chocolate balls on top of it. Okay, so if you want to buy this mold that I'm using, exactly this mold, I'm going to put the link in the description box for you guys to check out, and other molds I think you can use too. I'm going to leave the link for you in the description box to check out, and as well as my favorite cake tools. Yeah, I have like some cake tools that I can't live without, like I legit can't live without them because they make my life easier. And as like a cake decorator that works like on cakes from day to day, you know, like there are some tools you can't do without. So I'm going to leave the link for you guys in the description box below to check them out. And when you check them out, check whichever one you think will be useful to you, or whichever one you think you don't have or you want to try out. Yeah, and they're usually very cheap because, you know, like I'm caking on a budget. Okay guys, so I'm done applying my chocolate balls and now we are going to paint. And when you make things like this, you want to use a gold dust that is very pigmented. So I'm going to put the link for my gold dust in the description box for you guys below to buy as well. Yes, so you want to paint these and you want to be very careful and take your time and paint every nook and cranny, like those tiny holes. You want to paint them as well so they'll be extra pretty. So this was the first crown, and are you ready to see the second crown? It's so pretty. Okay, so this was the first crown. It's simple and nice and classy, and I did like a poll on my Instagram and people preferred this first crown to the second one, but I think the second one is just as gorgeous. I'm going to show you guys the second one in a bit. Can you imagine how it turned out? Let me show you. I prefer the second one though because I feel it's more detailed. See how pretty and so royal. It looks like an actual crown that you'd like to wear on your head. It looks like it's like 24 karat gold. Yeah, that's what happens when you buy like good quality gold dust. See how nice, guys. Okay, so I made these cake toppers within, I think within the past 2 or 3 hours. Yeah, so in this video I'm going to be showing you guys the method or the tricks I use to make cake toppers hard really fast. Like, you know, when you make a cake topper, you need it to firm up really fast, and usually most people like to make it days in advance, but sometimes I kind of forget, or like the days I forget or the days I maybe like didn't realize, okay, I might need this, and I don't make it in advance. I have a way of making a gum paste that firms up within 30 minutes. It firms up really fast, and the cake topper can stand on its own. So look at these cake toppers that I made. Yeah, they're made out of fondant. I'm going to show you how to make that gum paste that is really firm and like firms up really fast. Okay, so let's get started. Yeah, so you're going to be needing some fondant. See how firm this is. Yeah, and this was in less than 3 hours actually. Okay, so look at this fondant that we have. So what you want to do is take a piece of fondant, and in this case you're going to be using 200 grams of fondant. Yeah, so 200 grams of fondant, you want to take it and knead it really well. You don't want it to be sticky, so you don't want it to knead it with vegetable shortening, because that way it will become more sticky and like more, you want it to be firm as possible. So you want to make sure you knead it with just cornstarch or some powdered sugar. Okay, so you want to knead it really well and make it as pliable as possible. So once you are done with that, you want to add some Titus powder. Titus powder is also called CMC, depending on what part of the world you live in. I live in Ukraine, so it is called SMS. And that's because Ukrainians do not have a C, they have an S in the alphabet. So so in this part of the world, it is called SMS. In where you live, it might be called Titus powder or CMC. I don't know. But in Ukraine, it is called SMS because C is S and S is C, if that makes sense. Okay, so once you are done, you want to take some Titus powder or CMC. Yes, they write CMC on it, but they call it SMS. It's very funny. Anyways, so to that, we are going to be adding 3 teaspoons of, to 200 grams of fondant, we're going to be adding 3 teaspoons of SMS. Yeah, so the SMS, you want to make sure the teaspoons are leveled. Don't take a teaspoon right now. You want to level the teaspoon and apply it, and you're not going to use it all at once. Yeah, you're going to use 1 teaspoon at a time, knead it into the fondant, and then do it again. Okay, so now we're going to take a level teaspoon, and then we are going to apply it, put it in our fondant. We're going to make a well basically in the middle of our fondant so it doesn't pour out. That's what I like to do. See how firm this is. Yeah, that's what we are trying to do right now. We want it to be really firm and really fast. That's we're using like this much. Yeah, okay, so you want to take 1 teaspoon and you want to put it in the middle of your fondant, like you want to make it well in the middle of your fondant, and then you will knead it together. So that's what we're doing right now. And if you want to know where to get CMC from, or Titus powder, or SMS, whatever it is you call it, I'm going to leave links for you in the description box for you to buy some of my favorite tools. I have some favorite tools I use in my cake decoration that makes my life easier as a self-taught cake decorator. So I'm going to put the link in the description box for you guys to check out below, and at the same time I'm going to put the link for you to, you know, buy this CMC or Titus powder if you like to buy it, and it is very cheap and nice. Okay, and the brand I buy also. Okay, so knead it as much as you can, and then now that we've kneaded in 1 teaspoon, we're going to apply the 2nd teaspoon in the middle, just like we did the first one, and we're going to knead. Yeah, sorry. I'm such a clown. I didn't knead the first one in very well, so I'm kneading the second one. Plus I cut some parts of this video so it won't be extremely long, so it will be like, you know, not too long for you guys. Anyway, so you just want to make sure you knead in all 3 teaspoons of Titus powder into your fondant, and then you're going to have this really pliable, nice, stiff fondant. But the thing is, you have to use it really fast because it firms up really fast. So you have to make sure whatever it is you're forming, you form it really fast. Okay, so in this video today, I'm going to show you guys how to make the number 7 cake topper. And then you can make it without a cake mold, you can make it without a cutter, you can basically make it freehand. And I have a playlist for you guys on how to make number toppers from 0 to 9. Yes, I'm amazing and you're welcome. So if you want to check that out, I have a playlist for you guys right up here. It says click on me, yeah, click on that. So, and I should tell you guys in advance, for these toppers, yes, I used my my favorite gum paste recipe, and this gum paste recipe firms up in like 2 hours or less. And usually I use this recipe when maybe I forget to make an accessory on a cake and I need it to firm up really fast. So if that's what you're looking for, you are on the right channel. So click on the link right above here. You can see how to make that gum paste, yeah, by yourself. And so that's the gum paste we're going to be using today to make our number 7, and we're going to be making it in blue, pink, and gold. Okay, so what you want to do is take out a piece of gum paste, yeah, that you already made in advance, or maybe you bought it like that, depends on what you want or what you like. So you want to taper the ends, and then you want to form a 7, the shape of a 7 basically. Yes, so I think I was a little confused where 7 faces. So like I felt like it was a little long and I was too confused which direction 7 should face. So pardon me on this video, guys. So I had to like ask my boyfriend like what direction is this 7 supposed to face. So anyway, I kind of got it right at the end. So you want to make sure you form 7 with your fingers as much as you can. So once you're done with that, you want to use your smoother to make sure it is as uniform as possible. You don't want there to be bumps and stuff. You want to make sure the log is uniform. And so once you're done making sure it's uniform, you want to take your smoother to press it down as much as you can. That way you get a 7 that is wide and flat and that is more stable, that will dry out really fast. I don't know if that makes sense. So you want to use your smoother again to also smoothen the side so it can be smooth without bumps and stuff and everything. So once you're done with this, you can put some flowers on it. I used my flower mold to make some flowers to stick on top of it, and that was what I did. And then I stuck some pearls on top of it as well to give it some dimension and to give it a little so this is what our 7 looks like when we're done. And I tried to paint some of it gold because like I'm obsessed with details, and see how perfect and nice it came out. So just leave this for about maybe 30, 45, 1 hour, and it will firm up hard enough to be able to stand on its own on a cake. So thank you guys for always watching my videos, and if you want to see any other of my videos that I made for this number toppers, you can check them out and leave me a comment in the comment section below. Thank you guys, and make sure to give me a thumbs up on this video if you like it. Thank you so much, and I will see you in my future tutorials. Bye.